Hey, what's going on everybody? Gus here. So, we have looked at a couple of TWS adapters in the past here on the channel, and I mean, those things were pretty interesting, and if you're into that sort of thing, would have made you a very happy person because you could get proper REMs and turn them into wireless ones, and like, who wouldn't enjoy that? Now, that's great and all, but there is still a huge market out there for truly wireless earbuds. Stuff like these, which everybody knows. Now, how do you compete in a market against the lineup of AirPods that's out there and all the other stuff that's like really good from Samsung and Sony and Bose and Xiaomi? And Padmate seems to think that they have found a nice balance amongst all of them with these guys. These are the Pamu Z1. Alright, so let's start with the build. The Z1s are mostly plastic, they have a good design, they're not too intrusive or absurd, even I actually like the black and yellow sort of look, and they seem well made enough, I mean, at least comparatively. It's got Bluetooth 5.2, sure enough, that's nice to have, hybrid active noise cancelling up to 40 dB of reduction, which comparatively is okay, not the best one out there, but it's fine. 6 different EQ effects, and nope. We're gonna get to that in the sound. In-app firmware updates and customizations, which is kind of obvious and necessary, I guess. Dual master simultaneous transmission to both ears, and yeah, you better. Reliable and stable connection that, well, it's kinda, not all the time, it's good enough, but not super reliable or stable. The design actually makes them really comfortable and secure to wear, and I totally agree, they're pretty dang good. And the controls are touch on the pods themselves, which screws over the comfort because you're poking at something that's like in your ears, but I mean, I don't enjoy it, but I know some people that do. Qi wireless charging, which is reliable, is practical, and obviously it's pretty slow, but yeah, it works. A replaceable belt design that you can like put other stuff to make it more your own. I'm not really sure why these are being touted as like features or something like noteworthy, but I mean, it's there. And clear calls and conversations. And in this particular area, I'm going to just flat out come out and say that nope, that's wrong. It's just, even for a $69 pair of true wireless earbuds, it's not that they're not impressive, they are, they're bad. Let's just say that built-in features before the battery, it's a ding. It's another check for the Z1. As for the battery, 6.5 hours of playback, 24 if you count the case per charge, obviously. Has it been good? Yes. Has it been better than my AirPods Pro, which, theoretically at least, have 1.5 to 2 hours less battery per bud, or at least on the buds? Well, at first, yes, but then it kind of settled. After about 2 or 3 weeks of using the Z1, they just settled down to delivering about the same battery life as I get from my AirPods, which I don't for the life of me know what the hell happened. It just stopped delivering 6.5 hours and started delivering about 4.5 hours of battery life, which makes me believe it's something regarding my unit specifically and not something that everybody's going to be suffering from. So I'm not going to take away a point here from the Z1 just because of that. It might just have been like bad luck of the draw on my end. And sound, as with everything else audio we've ever reviewed, if it doesn't sound good, everything else is kind of pointless, right? Almost, because I know people that use these things specifically for the noise cancelling and the transparency mode instead of the sound quality per se. So what about the Z1? Yeah, they sound good. Now, I'm not saying these sound incredible because they don't. Most of the other true wireless earbuds that I mentioned in the beginning of the video will sound better and deliver more stuff than the Z1 across the board. But you sort of need to remember that these are $69 and there is such a thing as diminishing returns. The Z1 sounds quite calm and chill. The low end, the mid-range, and the high notes all are well presented while lacking in transparency, while lacking in texture, while lacking in definition, and lacking in extension, but they don't try too hard to push it towards your face. It does a good job at presenting low end in a way that it doesn't muffle everything else. It presents the mid-range in a way that it's not super special, it's not super sparkly, but clear enough that it's not a chore to try and enjoy and listen to whatever it is that's being sung. And the high notes don't get too shrill in the treble region so that it's not something that's going to be fatiguing for you to listen for long listening sessions, which is good because the overall sound package, the notes and the overall tuning of the Z1 is something that I would consider very enjoyable, calm and warming for, pretty much everybody out there. In other words, if you put everything that I said together, it might feel like these would be completely non-remarkable and super dull to listen to, which is not the case. It's just a matter of not trying too hard to impress and, not ending up falling flat on your face. So actually showing restraint in not trying too hard and just focusing on that, pleasant listening experience is, at least in my book, commendable and should be commended. The Z1 should get a thumbs up for that. Now, granted, everything that I talked about in terms of the sound of the Z1 is applicable, at least to my ears, when you're using the normal EQ setting. It comes out of the box in the pop setting, and it has another 4 from rock, jazz, classic, and vocals, and none of them work for me. Yes, if you're within the Apple ecosystem, you're probably going to gravitate to something like this, but bear in mind that the Z1 is about 50% cheaper than the cheapest AirPods, and about $200 cheaper than these ones. And when you're out on the Android side of things, you have more options to choose from. But if you're just getting into, you want to dip your toes into the true wireless earbud realm, the Z1 is probably one of your best bets. Because, again, you're not gambling with a lot. And I know a bunch of people that bought really good true wireless earbuds that they just don't use. So they literally kind of threw money away. They could have just bought something a little less expensive and they would have been fine either way, but they thought they would want the extra features or the extra sound quality and that sort of stuff, but they end up using them very little. And when they actually want to enjoy sound, enjoy music, they use something bigger, like a big-ass headphone on their heads. So, now listen, is it perfect? No. Is it going to last you a long time? The case, probably not. It's not very confidence-inspiring, but the buds themselves are probably going to last you a longer time. Still, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's kind of good enough. Yeah, it sort of is. Is it going to fit everyone, either physically or everyone's tastes? No, and it's sort of a Russian roulette. For me, for example, I was one option away from not being able to use these, because if I for some reason lost the ability to EQ these to the normal setting, let's say a firmware update just locks it out and I get stuck on one of the other 5 EQ options, these would be unusable for me. So yeah, again, it's a roulette, but not a particularly expensive one at that. And I have been enjoying the hell out of these little buggers. So yeah, at $69, as long as you're getting them for music listening and maybe to use them with the noise canceling, which is good. It's not game breaking, it's not genre defining, but it is pretty good for the money. I would definitely be really happy and really easily recommending these to anyone who asks. Just remember that the mic sucks. It really sucks. But that's been it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Gus, and I'll catch you guys later.